Morning, everybody. Checking my timer on the bottom. I don't know what that's saying. How we doing? Welcome to the morning fishing report. We did fish this morning. We're back and we're soaked, and we couldn't fish while we couldn't film while we were out there. The morning, I mean, we filmed with the GoPros. They're waterproof. I couldn't film the morning report out there this morning because it was pouring on us right from the time we left the dock. So Don and I fished on my boat today. First time Don's been with me on my boat. He saw it was a little sporty out there this morning. It took us 20 minutes to get from the bridge at 81 out to 133, and we didn't go where we were going to go because it was just gnarly. So we took our time and got out to 133, had a pretty good picture right off the bat, and we caught a bunch of fish. We caught a bunch of walleyes and big pumpkin seeds. Only one walleye was even close to being a keeper. It was about 13 inches, but we had a bunch of them that were 4 or 5 inches long, maybe up to 8 or 9. And it was fun, and we had some monster. That pumpkin seed you had was probably one of the bigger ones I've seen all season.
I think so. Definitely.
He was that thick. I mean, and bigger than your hand. I'll put the pictures up. I got a bunch of pictures from this morning, but I didn't do anything out there because, again, it was pouring on us the whole time. Don found out that his rain gear, the old Gander Mountain stuff, doesn't work too well. I have Cabela's stuff. I haven't checked myself, but I mean, I feel somewhat dry. But when it's pouring like that, I don't care how good your rain gear is. You're gonna get damp, you know. But we were hoods up and with our back to the wind. At least it was a east wind with the rain.
It was a good drift too. I mean, good speed.
Yep. I had one double bag out there, so I run a big 48-inch bag and then a 24-inch bag connected to the back of it on a longer lead, and I put that off my bow, and we were at 0.5 to 0.6 all day. Considering, we left the house this morning about 5:45. It was pitch black. We had to go get gas, and then it was probably 62, 63 degree air temperature. Lake temperature was 71.5. Again, stiff east wind was blowing all of 15, at least all of 15. And we had 3s and 4s out there, all of 3s and 4s. You remember that guy's name that we just talked to? We only saw one other boat out there all morning, Dean. We went over and said hello to him. He knew us and a friend of the channel. First time we'd met him, though, in person. And he was the only other one, I'll say this jokingly, dumb enough to be out there like we were. We passed him this morning down in the hole in front of the park. He said he was perch fishing and got a few. I've seen guys at the green buoy right there in front of Oneida Shores 3 times now already. As the fall goes on, there was a pile of guys there last year. I'd go by 10 or 15 boats last year right there. So,
it was pretty amazing that with the wind in the weather forecast, you look at your weather forecast and it said 4 miles an hour. I have a wind gauge at the house and it was 12 to 14, exactly what you said. So, you look at the phone and you say, okay, we can do this. And then you get out there and this isn't 4 miles an hour. So, very deceiving the way it is.
So I had a guy yesterday comment on the St. Lawrence River video, and I've had guys do it about out here, and they say, oh, I've got this for a boat. I got a 16-footer. Can I go on the lake? First of all, I'm never going to tell you yes or no. Each person that owns the boat, that goes out in the boat, has to decide what they're comfortable going out in. I'm not going to say, yeah, go on, and then you go racing out there and something bad happens. So I say the same thing every time somebody asks me. This lake was fine today, but you had to be competent and you had to be careful. You could have easily stuffed your bow into a 4-footer and put 300-400 gallons of water in your boat so fast that it'd make your head spin, and now all of a sudden you're in a world of trouble. So again, I'll never be the one that says, just like when it gets towards ice season, and back when I had the tackle shop, guys would be like, oh, is there safe ice? I'm not the one that's going to tell you safe ice. you got to go out and figure it out for yourself and be responsible for yourself, because you can't go on somebody else's word. We would love to be able to go on our apps and say, well, it's going to do this so I can plan. But there's not a day that goes by that the plan doesn't change because of what the weather is really doing. Because when Don got to my house this morning, I live on the river. Both my flags, I checked my flag in my yard, and then the flags on the other side of the river, they were all hanging limp, and the river was glass. That usually for me means there's nothing going on out there. We were wrong, because as soon as we got to the Route 11 bridge, I said to Don, you can tell when it's big because you get those groundswell rollers coming in from 81. They'll come in sometimes all the way to the railroad bridge. And so once you start feeling that groundswell before you even get past the waterfront, you're like, yeah, I'm going to get pounded. I'm going to be driving right out into them. And we did. But we got out and we went fishing, and it was fine. The drift was great. The boat fishes the trough pretty well. We didn't get bounced around. We were fishing nothing but blades today. You'll see then when the video comes out. Again, Don and I fish night and day different. He is a faster, more rip jigger, and I tend to be slower and more finesse, and we both caught fish. So every time you and I are together, I say the same thing. There's not just one way to fish anything. There's not just one way to fish these blades. You can rip them. You can, I move my tip about this much and I feel, and then earlier today I said to myself, it feels like I'm going a little fast. I slowed it down so it was do when I picked it up, as opposed to, and I got bit immediately. Now, it wasn't a giant walleye and I didn't unlock the secret code, but I unlocked something because it was no more than 3 lifts after I changed my speed and my cadence that I got bit. So again, all I'm saying is be open to all of the other possibilities. So nothing, I mean, we didn't knock him dead this morning, but we were out and we caught fish, and Don and I got to fish together again. It's been like 2 weeks. He's been busy at the fair. I'm sure a ton of people, if you were at any of the concerts at the fair, you saw Don, or you maybe saw Brian Hammond from Hammer Rig, is security walking around. So he's finally back and done with the fair. And so we're going to get back to doing some more fishing. I have an excellent report from up on Lake Ontario that those fish are in close to the mouth. And we all know that there's some fish in the river. Guys are catching them. But I'm going to check the weather, but I think I'm going to Lake Ontario tomorrow morning and back on I think I may take the jet ski and go back on the jet ski, and back to what I said earlier is I'm going to catch one way or another, hook or by crook, I'm going to catch a salmon on my jet ski before the season's over. So that's what we're looking at, and maybe possibly an early morning walk on the Salmon River Friday morning. Saturday or Sunday, we're going to try and get up to the St. Lawrence and get back after those big walleyes. I got a new hook I'm going to put on my jig, on my walleye jig up there. Is a stinger hook in the back of my jig. Just kidding. So, all right, that does it for us today. Thank you very much for joining. It's soaking wet out there, so I hope you're dry today. And if you're working outside, God bless you. Love you. And I think that'll do it for today.
I think so. Great day.
Have a great day. It's hump day. Weekend's right around the corner. It's a short week, remember. So as always, yep, you ready? Keep your tip up.